Well, look, that first one. I don't want to get into too much play-by-play here. We've already done that. But they're on the inch-yard line. They do a tush push. It gets them 2 yards, gets them nice space. The second play was a doozy. It was a weird double slant, like you mentioned. It was an incomplete pass. That play just didn't look right. I don't know if it was a bad call. It just didn't look right. Whatever happened, happened. The third play, it was still 3rd and 8. They were only on the 3-yard line. You obviously want more space than that. So they took an easy first short completion, kind of a screen to Devontae Smith that could get them the first down, but at the very least would get them another 3-4 yards.
I'm fine with the screen also.
Yeah.
The screen I'm fine with. But
so it got him 3 yards, and it got him space to punt it. And then he punted it, and it went to the Dallas 48. On Dallas's next drive, they scored the touchdown. They had a short field. They scored the touchdown.
I did the math. Had you made sure the clock ran your entire possession, they could have ran off. They got the ball on the inch-yard line with 9.5 minutes. Had they used up all the clock they could have,
had the ball with 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Had they used up all the clock that they could have, and that's assuming they go 3 and out, they could have ran off roughly 6.5 minutes. So that means the Cowboys,
without getting a first down,
9 plays, 45 seconds to play.
That's not that. It wasn't that drive. You're talking about every drive in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Gotcha.
6.5 minutes. That means you only allow the Cowboys 3.5 minutes to make 2 touchdowns.
When you look at it like that, it lays out.
That's how I looked at it. The moment they got the ball at the inch-yard line, I said, kill the clock. No matter what you do, every possession, even if it's 3 and outs,
that's
you
what
have
they're trying to do.
Well, you threw it twice, and it was 2 incompletions, which stopped the clock.
Yeah, but the best offense for the best thing that was going for sometimes the best. What do the Chiefs always do when in doubt, which is all the time? They put the ball.
You tell that to Kyle Shanahan and his Super Bowl that he didn't get. The Falcons Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. That was a long time ago, and that was 28-3. He should have stayed aggressive.
No, he should have just ran the ball. They already said
run the ball.
They already said
run the ball.
Some mathematician already proved that had they taken a knee every play, the Patriots mathematically would not have had enough time to come back.
Yeah, but that's if you're saying it that way, that would also make the other team play differently. The Patriots played with how the game was going and how much time they had. If they had less time, they would have played differently. They could have scored.
Yeah, and if you killed more clock, you put more pressure on them. They have less time because you took time off the clock. I'm just saying, when the clock is your friend, let it be your friend.
Well, think about it this way. Let's just stick for the first 3 plays for the Eagles, because obviously this is what we're talking about, because we're an Eagles podcast more than a Cowboys podcast. The Eagles, in that position, you do the tush push to get off the inch-yard line. Smart. I liked it. It made sense.
I would have ran it 4 times.
That's the obvious thing to do, is to run the ball on second down to get it further away and to keep moving the clock. Jalen Hurts is one of the most accurate passers in the league. He is the most accurate passer from pocket passer in the league the last 2 years. They like their chances to get a completion on second down to get a really easy third down, and it was just a busted play.
But he's also banged up.
It doesn't matter. He's good in the pocket. Hasn't mattered this year. He's been banged up all year.
Well, I'm just saying. I think if that double slant,
you wouldn't have faulted them for that second play if it was a completion.
Yeah, but I would fault them for taking the risk.
I don't think it was that much of a risk.
It would have been if they lost.
That's irrelevant, because
if they lost,
every play's a risk. If
they lost the game, everyone would be saying the Eagles could have had a chance to. The narrative would be either A, Jalen Hurts choked and gave up the lead, or the Eagles' play calling was crappy and they did Dallas a favor.
Let's move on from those 3 plays, because I don't think that's as big as a deal. The next drive, the Cowboys scored the next drive either way, and it took them like 4 minutes or whatever. It was with 6 minutes left. They go for the 2-point conversion. Dak Prescott gets chased down by Brandon Graham, steps on the inch-yard line, doesn't get it. The next drive for the Eagles, this is the one that infuriated me. The Eagles got the ball on the 25-yard line. This goes back to what I was saying. They weren't running the ball that well this game, which has kind of been a factor.
Should have brought in Rashad Penny.
Well, they did it in the beginning of the half. That's neither here nor there.
DeAndre Swift, he's third in the league in rushing. He's explosive. He does not run through contact well.
DeAndre Swift?
Yeah.
He runs through the tackles better than you think. He's very shifty. And
I'm not talking about shifty.
He got fined for a truck. It was so vicious.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a truck or shiftiness. I'm talking about getting 3 to 4 yards through contact to kill the game.
There's no guarantees that Penny could have done that either.
I like Penny's chances. I like Penny's chances better.
If you want to do that, just do a tush push every play.
Why not? I said that. Why not do 4 tush pushes?
Whatever. Okay, they ran the ball with DeAndre Swift. He got 2 yards. Next play, Jalen Hurts rushed for 5 yards. I don't remember what the exact play was. It was 3rd and 3 at that point. This is the most egregious play of the game to me. It's 3rd and 3. They liked the matchup with A.J. Brown going deep. They took the shot because that's what they do. When A.J. Brown's one-on-one, they take the shot. 3rd and 3 with just under 5 minutes left. Just run the ball. Because at the very least, you're probably going to get a yard or 2 yards. And at that point, it's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. You can tush push it from there. That was the most egregious play of the game to me, going deep on 3rd and 3 with under 5 minutes left. That is being overly aggressive. You could have done anything else besides that. Do that earlier in the game, and I'm fine with it. They probably would have went for it on 4th down at that point. So then the Cowboys get the ball back, and then
that's the Jalen Tolbert touchdown, isn't it?
No. The Cowboys didn't score anymore. This was the drive when Brandon Graham got 2 sacks in a row. They were on they were on Philly's 31. Brandon Graham got 2 sacks in a row. It was 3rd and 21, and then they had an incomplete to Tolbert that Bradbury deflected. And then a minute left. DeAndre Swift, 2 yards again. Dallas timeout. DeAndre Swift again, 1 yard. Dallas timeout. DeAndre Swift again, 1 yard loss. He fumbled. That was another egregious play. Too cute. Yeah. Some Eagles beat writer I read said they ran the same play earlier in the game. It got him 7 yards, but it's a different situation. So it was 3rd and 7. And then madness ensued. I feel like we've talked too long about this game already.
Well, one last thing. If we're going to move on, the 2-point conversion. Dak Prescott.
Unconversion.
Yeah, 2-point unconversion. Dak Prescott stepping out of bounds.
Yep.
Egregious. I haven't watched like every angle replay, but to me it looked like he could have just ran in. Like, I don't think he was going to get caught.
Brandon Graham showed really good effort to make the angle. I think some arguments people have made is that Dak Prescott should have been more aggressive with his own angle in the situation. It's a 2-point conversion. You either get it or you don't get it. And I've seen both sides of the argument. People are saying he had a great game. That was literally, his toes were that close to being out of bounds. But I mean, me and you both said it. That's like a rookie kind of play right there. You got to know where you're at in the field, and there's some other quarterbacks that would have made a play.
And also, like, we're not talking about Kyler Murray, Bryce Young, like Joe Burrow. You're Dak Prescott. You're kind of a unit for a QB. Just go. And if you get hit, I'm hoping and you're running forward full speed, you can drag a defender 1 yard and put your arm out. There was no need for him to try to make that fancy dive, and which caused him to step out of bounds when he went to get his feet placed.
Yeah.
Just run forward as hard as you can. I don't think he would have even got touched.
But I think he would have gotten probably hit by Brandon Graham, but I think it looked like he had plenty of momentum to get in there.
Yeah, game of inches for sure. This game of inches, game of feet, and when the game was on the when the play mattered, the Eagles made it and the Cowboys didn't. Sure, 80% of the game, the Cowboys probably outplayed the Eagles. I mean, not 80%. 70% of the game, the Cowboys outplayed the Eagles. But Eagles owned the third
quarter. I still don't even
quarter.
agree with that.
Well, I'm probably wrong still, but Eagles owned the
won, so the Eagles were better. The more proportion of the game, they scored more points.
I just think when you can break a game down into moments, anyone that plays Madden says the Madden moments, the Eagles seem to win the bulk of those moments, and thus won the game.
Yeah. The other side of my argument is people have been crying all week. Cowboys fans have been complaining all week. I don't want to hear anything about the refs either. Yeah, there were a few crucial calls that went against the Cowboys. It happens to everybody. It happens to every team every other week. And the Eagles also had a ton of penalties. Your final drive was made by penalties, so flags were flying all game.
Yeah, my only thing was both teams had 10 penalties. Sure, maybe where there's some calls missed. That's all games. But I will say this, and I talked to a Cowboys fan earlier today at work. The Cowboys were lining up offsides on defense
every play,
almost the entire game. Like almost every play when the camera was right there, I was like, offsides, offsides, offsides. I think it got called one time. And it was yeah. And I get it. Apparently the refs are trying to punish the Eagles by not calling offsides on, the tush push. But this wasn't during it was. They were offsides during when the Eagles did the tush push.
Every time they run the tush push, somebody is offsides on the other team. It's ridiculous.
But this was just throughout the game. Anytime the camera was on the line of scrimmage, the Dallas Cowboys were offsides.
Yeah, I saw hands in the neutral zone all game.
And people that don't know, the neutral zone is from tip to tip of the football, and you're not supposed to be in it. You can't even have your helmet over it. Any part of your body, draw a vertical line tip to tip. The only person on both sides of the ball that are allowed in the neutral zone is the center. Yeah. Anybody else, if any part of your body breaks that plane, it's offsides. And yeah, it's a judgment call because.
And did you say it goes up too?
It's vertical.
Yeah, vertical.
And yeah.
The last thing I want to say about this game, because all the complaining I've been hearing already this week, which I knew was going to happen the way the game went, is because we were an inch away from scoring this touchdown. He was an inch away from getting the 2-point conversion. And then they would have been able to kick a field goal instead of going for the touchdown at that point. If all of that happened the way everyone's saying it, the Eagles would have played it. It's not like the Eagles just got shut out. The Eagles were playing. They stopped. They made a stop. They were on the inch-yard line. Not a lot of teams convert those when you're on the inch-yard line, backed up on your own. And then the rest of the drives, they were playing. They ran 3 plays in a row at the end of the game. In the other drive, they ran 2 plays in a row, and they threw the ball once in their last 2 drives, and it was a bad deep ball throw. In the other drive, the other possession, they were on their inch-yard line. If all that other stuff happened differently for the Cowboys, it would have been different for the Eagles. The Cowboys didn't stop the Eagles all game. They had 28 points going into the fourth quarter. The Eagles probably would have put up another 10 points, I would guess. So that's all I got to say about that game. I think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league, and they got a bye week at a good time. And I'm excited for the Super Bowl rematch against the Chiefs. I think if we beat the Chiefs, then people will finally lay off the Eagles a little bit. And one last thing, because I don't care at this point. I try to be kind of civil on this podcast, but I'm done. I hate the Cowboys. They're dirty. That who's their fat defensive end? DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence.
He's not the one that I thought it was the other one that hit Jalen Hurts' knee.
I thought it was Lawrence. Whoever. That maybe wasn't on purpose, but he just accidentally fell right into Jalen Hurts' knee. But the Dallas Goedert tackle was dirty. That was an arm twist of death in midair. I've seen it in slow motion. There's no reason to do what he did. He had his arm and shifted his whole body to twist him in midair. What are you trying to do but to break his arm in that situation? Then he fell on it. Dirty play. That guy's a big a-hole. He's got something coming. His cleat might break in the middle of a play, and he gets cut. I don't know. I don't even know who that was, if it was Bland or not. But it was dirty. And then they're lining up off sides all the time. Dirty Cowboys. And their coach likes glory holes, so have fun with that.
Their owner.
Well, McCarthy probably does too. Look at him.